Ladies and gentlemen, you asked for it. You got it. Another Whiteboard Wednesday here at you. I do want to thank our episode sponsor, which is Evan and all the crew, Crystal as well. Crystal is basically the second lieutenant of Captain Evan Walt, who runs the ship down there at Slice's Concession. Evan, I like to think of Evan as the Wyndham Wizard of the ice cream equipment world. Slicesconcession.com, they sell used equipment, batch freezers, custom machines, countertop soft serve, a lot of information there. The link is down below. Many years supplying new, near new or used equipment. Save a few dollars, talk to Evan, he knows everything about equipment. Again, the link is down below, Slice's Concession. We do thank them for their episode sponsorship. Let's talk a little bit about employees. I'm legally obliged. Before I can write anything on the whiteboard, I've got to roll the jingle. And a one, and a two, and a...
Here we are, we're at the board. Whiteboard Wednesday is here once more. We'll have some fun, we'll use some pens, spending time with our friends.
We kid about the dancing, but there is a video of David Brent dancing in The Office, the original Office. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's a classic. Anyway, how many employees are you going to need? Well, generally speaking, you're going to have to draw a map of your store. So let's draw a, let's call this a walk-up ice cream stand. We have a drive-through window here with a register, and then we've got a front counter here with a register here and a register here. So we have the capability in this scenario to run 3 registers. What I typically do is tell people, start from your busiest times and work backwards. So let's say it's 8 o'clock on a Friday night, probably one of the busiest times you'll ever have in your ice cream shop. What are you going to want to have running here? How many registers do you want to have open in a very busy time? Well, you've got your drive-through here. So there's 1 employee at the register in the drive-through. You've got 1 employee here at register number 1, we'll call it, register number 1. And then at register number 2, because you're in your busy times, you'll have another employee here. When you're busy, the idea is that you want to rotate through as fast as you can. You want to get those orders coming quick and fast because you don't want people waiting in a long line and it's just basically just almost crawling along. So what typically happens is that each of these registers here, or each of the people on the register, will have a runner for that register. So this person, this person, this person are working the register. Each one of them has a runner, and that is the person that's actually off making the item that's being put through the register. So now you can see at 3 registers running on a busy Saturday night, we've got 6 people going, and then you may need to have 1 more person, which is the supervisor, the shift manager, and that's the person that's basically making sure that the ice cream is being staged and brought up, that the milk is being refreshed in the topping station over there for shakes, all that kind of stuff. Now you may not need all of them going all of the time. As it kind of drops off to be a little bit later, you might close register number 2 and just keep register 1 going. So let's say we need 6 people at the busy times. How do I get that red ink off? How about this? Shing! Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's say for example Monday 11 o'clock. Let's say Monday 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You've just opened. You're not going to use register number 2, honestly. You don't need to. And it's relatively slow, so you might only have 1 walk-up register going. Wrong one. Shing! See, the shings work, I'm telling you. We had a guy come through Scoop School not so long back, and he was a bit disappointed that we didn't do the shing in Scoop School. I think sometimes if you shing it too much, it doesn't become a novelty anymore. Anyway, 1 o'clock, Monday afternoon, you'll have the drive-through going. You should always have the drive-through. You've invested in the drive-through, it should be going. So let's say you've got 2 employees here working. Now, because it's not that busy, you don't really need a runner for those 2 employees. So one of these employees may be the manager. So now you've got one manager, one employee. You only need 2 people. What you'll need to do is kind of monitor the progress. Maybe you have a big after-school crowd where at 3 o'clock, mums and dads go and pick up kids, bring them to the ice cream shop through the drive-through, so then you might put another person that's running just to kind of help that process there. Look at your busy times, look at your non-busy times, figure out how many people you're going to need. Now, that's the first step. The second step is looking at, well, how many people do you need overall? And that's a tricky question. One thing I will tell you, and I know we may have mentioned this in a previous video, but go to your state labor law or your state labor department's website and figure out what is the shortest shift you can work an employee. Sometimes it's 3 hours, sometimes it's 4 hours. Here's the thing. If you're working someone a 3-hour shift, particularly high school kids or freshmen in college, you're not going to get too much out of these kids past the 4th, 5th, 6th hour. It's just too long a shift. And if those of you out there who have read our book From Hopeless to Hero, How to Hire, Train and Motivate Super Employees, link is down below. Shing! Not on the screen, I mean down in the notes. We mention in there an illness that I invented called 3-hour-itis. And basically what happens is at the 3rd hour, something disconnects in a high schooler's brain and they basically just walk around like the Walking Dead. So you want to get them in, work them hard for that 3 or 4 hours, get them out. Now you might have some employees that say, hey, I can work 2-3 hours back to back. So primarily what you're doing is you've got a 6-hour shift, but they're 2 3s. So with a rotating roster of shorter shifts where you're becoming much more efficient, what I end up saying is that, look, in the grand scheme of things, you can maybe hire 10 to 12 employees that will work 6 or 8 hour shifts. They might have 1 or 2 a week. Or you could hire 14 to 18 employees and work them multiple shorter shifts. So rather than one of these employees working 1, maybe 2 shifts that are 6 to 8 hours, you've got more kids, rotating more kids through that might be working 4 or 5 3 to 4 hour shifts, and it just becomes much more efficient. So I don't know what the answer is for you, how many employees will you need, but I know that's the kind of 2 parts of it. A, have a look at what you're going to need in the busy times, what you're going to need in the non-busy times, and then look at the amount of shifts or the length of the shifts that you have and try and really maximize your employees' willingness to work, their effectiveness at work during those shorter shifts. People still tell me, boy, it's so hard to kind of get under that 30% labor cost with labor costs increasing, going up to $15 an hour. There's still a lot of shops that can do a great job in keeping that threshold under 30% by looking at some of these aspects. And look, I would recommend, if you haven't read From Hopeless to Hero, How to Hire, Train and Motivate Super Employees, the link is down below. You can buy it on Amazon. Look, I'm trying not to be biased, but I think it's a pretty good read. Thank you for Slice's Concession for sponsoring this video. And if you have any experiences about your employees, how long you work them, maybe a tip or a trick as to how you get the most effectiveness out of them, we love comments. Leave them down below. Same thing if you've got a question about the ice cream industry, leave them down below and we'll try and get to them as quickly as we can. Okay, real quick. This is the subscribe link. This is a video down here that I think you'll enjoy. And over here, this is taking you straight to scoopschool.com. Keep on scooping. See you in the next video.